to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's Friday, June 18th, 2021. Welcome one and all. Yes, today is going to be a slightly different installment in the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update series. I know we promised you guys we'd be back today. Unfortunately, both of our analysts had something come up. Alex had to rush to a meeting with his accountant, which I think he's doing right now. Jason, a little indisposed of today. So, guys, it's just going to be me holding it down this Friday afternoon. So I'm planning to keep this relatively short, guys. I didn't want to keep you all hanging. I didn't want to just post a show canceled notification at the last minute either. So I figured, hey, maybe pop on here, check in with everybody, and yeah, markets are looking pretty droopy today. So what can I say? Had to take this opportunity to at least cover some news, do a little bit of intro. We're gonna wind it down pretty early today. Like I said, we're not gonna leave anybody hanging now, are we? All right, how's everyone doing this afternoon? Let's let's do this a little different today on account of I'm here solo. Let's see how things are looking. In fact, let's hop into the chat early and see who's presently here with us today. Like I said, I probably won't be here for too long. So let's have a look. Mr. Ether's in here writing sup. Well, good afternoon to you, Mr. Ether. Dark Rico, howdy peeps. Shoutouts to Dark Rico. Mr. Ether notes that ChartX is finding a bottom and Hex continues on up. Yep, Hex, oh Hex. How wrong we seemingly were. ChartX as well. Yeah, found a bit of a bottom. I mean, it's rock bottom. I saw a nice little pump on it today. Got sold into. I think had posted 50% gain. Got sold into a bit. At this point, I'm wrecked. Not much. Maybe I should buy the mega dip on ChartX, although I'm a little tapped out on my ChartX funding. And Cap Futures is with us. Always buy ChartX under Ascent, he says. Yeah, I guess it's smart. I'm gonna have to check in on the ChartX chart, see how it looks. Crypto Bull 21, first lemon deposited. Shoutouts to Crypto Bull. Thank you for that. Ron Legato is with us today on YouTube. Daniel here as well. Bricks D Live. Shoutouts to you. Profit Bear, what's up, CC Crew? What's your opinion on the whole repo market skying? Also, do you see Bitcoin double bottoming right now? Tough call. Do I see Bitcoin double bottoming right now? I don't know. I feel like right now the all markets are being dragged down, and Bitcoin maybe a little slow to react, but it is kind of following suit. So I don't know if this is just heading into the weekend pullback. We've seen this over the weekends the last few months. Bitcoin pulls back heading into the weekend, kind of pumps again by Monday. So as far as the repo markets and this double bottom on Bitcoin, wait and see. I'm gonna take a look at the charts and we'll get into that. But shoutouts to Profit Bear. Taz Blitz, good evening to Taz Blitz on D Live. Profit Bear, you're the man. Thank you for holding the line. My pleasure, guys. Like I say, this is a show that prides itself in its consistency. We have. It's always all hands on deck over here, guys. This is full-time analysis, full-time traders staffing the CC deck. And I just feel it's inappropriate to leave anyone hanging. It's bad enough we don't do weekends, right? And Cat Future, this is Jack's time to shine. I want to hear your bags and your favorite resources. Well, we'll see, guys. I'm not planning to do anything too fancy today, but we shall see. Like I said, I kind of want to keep this somewhat brief. There probably isn't too much to kind of drone on about, but we'll figure that out in short order. Thank you, gentlemen, for your comments and all the lemons going in. That's the thing. Maybe I'll do a lemon giveaway today. Keep the show, let's say 30 minutes or less. Give away lemons in the next few minutes or so. We'll see. I'll figure out the timing of all this live. In the meantime, let's hop into some of the price action. Bitcoin pulling back, currently at 36,450, down from, you know, just as we were thinking, we were holding on to 40K. Here comes the Fed announcement. We're down a little over 10% from the highs of, yeah, what, Monday, Tuesday? Tuesday things are looking good. Fed meeting, kerplunk. There goes our chance at least testing 45, but maybe not all is lost. I mean, relative to the gold chart, Bitcoin holding up surprisingly well. Here's gold on the daily, currently at 1,773. What a route! What a route on gold. Major reaction. Although, I mean, it was kind of clear in the charts right here when gold closed below the baseline back here on the 3rd of June. I guess the writing was on the wall, but the Fed came in, the FOMC meeting came in and shook up markets, but kind of living in unprecedented times. It's hard to say what to make of all this. Let's take a look at Dixie on an absolute rampage last 3 days, thanks to this Fed announcement concerning the potentially early rate hike, which may not even come to pass. That's so, seems like it's so far into the future, but it is signaling. It's all about, you know, maybe it is to some kind of 4D chess. It's all about reading in between the lines, and you know, the Fed coming in and mentioning that the rates need a uptick. Well, what do you expect? Ripples sends major shockwaves through the markets at these kind of precarious times. All right, let's head back into Bitcoin. Let's see here. I mean, WADA's still green, and yes, we've crossed under, but we're not quite under zero yet on Minx. Still hope here, guys. Still hope. In fact, I know a lot of people, especially now with a lot of the market suddenly chasing this bearish sentiment, it could be that we're going to look at a counter trade. Maybe people are going to get pumped on, you know, just as everyone starts to panic and pile into shorts. Go figure. We might get that pump. You know, one of the major theses we've had, or thesi, probably theses, on the show we've had in recent weeks is, you know, we're expecting a pump to at least this 42-ish, maybe a little higher, up to 45-ish pump before we see the next leg down. I don't think that's, especially now with the sentiment turning the way it is, I wouldn't say that's still out of the question. We'll see. Bitcoin seemingly kind of in the middle of the range here. I feel it's a little dangerous to short this thing here, especially since we're still above the baseline. All indicators kind of point toward don't do anything quite yet. All right, let's hop into Ethereum. Man, Ethereum looking ugly. Fat close. Today's candle closes anything like this today. This is a fat close below the baseline. Most of the other indicators are flat though, so there isn't really a lot to do on Ethereum. But if you know, maybe if you want to take this baseline close here below the below baseline, maybe this is a spot to hedge your Ethereum. But I don't know. With the indicators looking pretty flat, I'm apt not to do anything quite yet. Still looking, don't look too pretty, do it. All right. Here's a quick look at XRP, 80 cent XRP, still hanging in there above the baseline. And yeah, other indicators looking pretty bearish. Polkadot, still hanging out above the baseline. Still some signs of life, but Minx officially curling down. Are looking droopy. Kusama, man, I think we have a Kusama short on in the group, don't we? I guess that's going reasonably well in that case. Currently $311. Kusama really opened itself up for a short a couple days ago. Glad our analysts jumped on that one. Doge. Is this it for Doge? Is this going to be the final? Here's 29 cent Doge. It's looks like it's hanging over a cliff. Doge, prepare for disaster. Yes, I'm not that I relish having anybody get wrecked, anybody's shitcoin go down, but gentlemen, we are heading down to, yep, right around here, I'm guessing. Here is your future of Doge drawn out for anyone to see. 5 cent Doge incoming, maybe, we'll see. Is this going to be the next cliff. Is this the plummet? What about SHIB? Still a little, whoops, let's delete that. SHIB still pulling back. Jason, I'm glad we didn't buy this shitcoin yesterday or the day before. Where will we snipe the SHIB in the next few days? Guys, do you think this meme coin is still worth buying? Somebody left a comment on yesterday's video saying SHIB actually looks okay here. Yeah, again, not something I'd normally indulge with, but hey, during these somewhat boring and kind of depressing times over here in crypto land, need a pick-me-up. Might need a meme coin to have a few laughs with. Nothing major. We missed the Doge train. Maybe get on the SHIB. Or looked at gold. Did pump up a bit today to 1796. Got sold into, man, just so ugly. Let's have a look here. How much of a sell-off in the last week or so? Yeah, that's huge. Almost 7% down in the week. That's pretty significant. Seems pretty significant. Dixie, of course, still roaring. How long will this trend last? Weird market conditions, guys. There's a quick overview, guys, of some of the price action. Keeping it, like I say, pretty brief. If you're just joining us now, both of our analysts are away today, so I'm just stopping in to give you guys a brief check-in on all the latest. All right, let's put Bitcoin down on here. Baseline indicator. Up the indicators. And there we go. Got baseline back on the screen. Yeah, hourly looks brutal. Baseline. Trading view kind of slow today. Yep, everything looking brutal. Troublesome, isn't it? All right. Let's hop into the chat real quick. See who's still with us today. Thank you for the comments. Crypto Butler, what's up? Shout out to ANCAP. Yep, already mentioned them. Crypto Bull. Is this going to be an hour and a half solo show? No, I'm kind of aiming for 30 minutes or less. In fact, let's set the chest opening for exactly 30 minutes into the show. So in about 12 minutes, guys, I'm going to open the chest. I see your lemons coming in. I do appreciate it. Let's have a look. Ron Legato, I missed the Saturday streams. Yeah, the Saturday streams were once a thing, but Ron Legato, you're definitely showing your age around here, mentioning the Saturday streams. ANCAP Futures Money Mondays too. Yeah, I still kind of do Money Mondays. I still buy and bag my cryptos on a regular basis. Crypto Bull 21, how about them polls? Yes, I have. I was gonna do a poll today, but on account of the fact that today's show is gonna end a little early and our analysts aren't really here to discuss the poll, the polls will return on a Monday. ANCAP Futures, Tesla is still pumping. All right, we'll certainly give Tesla a gander. The tech stocks held up reasonably well. I'd have to check in on them. Here's Tesla on the 4-hour. Yeah, turned up a bit on the 4-hour. Nice baseline. Yeah, crossed over the baseline here. Yep, Minx went long. Tesla $627 and running. Let's have a look here. Philly Carr joins us over on YouTube, writing, "Evening, fellas." Well, very good evening to you. Franklin MC. Is this the Franklin Motorcycle Club? Recommendations for a crypto forex broker. Franklin MC, depends. What are your recommendations in terms of what? Stock tips, crypto picks? You want trade setups? Or you want just general advice? Let me know. Randy McMurphy, holy T-Fuel. Is T-Fuel doing something? What's T-Fuel doing? Is it crashing and burning? Let's have a look here. T-Fuel, USDT. Yeah, let's put this on the daily so I can see what the hell's going on. Huh. Yeah, strong. Kind of near all-time highs, and even wicked up to test all-time highs. How did it do it? When did it? 2 hours ago. Did it during the overnight session. The hourly's pulled back since. Was this the local top on T-Fuel? T-Fuel 57 cents after hitting a high of 64 cents just a few hours ago. Alright, holy T-Fuel indeed. Still all-time highs. T-Fuel holding up pretty well despite what's going on in the rest of the markets. Philly Car says bubbles look fairly sickly. Is there anything popping yet? Well, a lot of bubbles seem to have popped as of late. Is the DeFi craze over with? Is Doge ready to head down? Let's see here. Crypto Butler, except Hex. Yes, Hex miraculously somehow pulling through all of this. Yes, the one of the main assets that really makes a lot of people, I guess, eat their words, but alas. Here we go. Here's a Uniswap calculated Hex. Wow. Let's put this up to the daily. Yep, Hex pretty much. Yep, just creeped over all-time highs. 10-cent Hex, everybody. Wow. What a runner. Congrats to any of the faithful. Any of the Hex holders, congrats. Let's see here. Number 4 coin on Nomics. Yes. Coinomics. Yes. Number 4. Very impressive what Hex has managed to achieve. Crypto Bull 21. Sounded rude when you read that. Wasn't meant to be. No, it's all good. It's all good. Might be some stuff lost in translation. No big deal. Yep, I know. We all miss Justin. Justin's still taking his time off. Bricks. Jack, you should see what I'm doing with these Canaria birds. What are these Canaria birds you speak of? Bricks, do let us know. ANCAP, I want to know how the man is doing. The man's doing fine. Where are you guys trading Forex and commodities these days? Good question, Franklin. I don't really trade FX where I am, but probably a question best asked for analysts. Franklin MC, need to do more research to ask the correct questions. Just starting. Alright, well, you're in the right place. Hex USDC Blue Sky breakout? Maybe. Is that what's going on with Hex? I'm a little hesitant to get into Hex now. We certainly missed the boat on this, and I don't know what the rest of the markets just constantly. Well, most of the market's looking pretty weak. I'm not about to hop into anything, even if it looks like a blue sky breakout. Again, guys, I'm just a pundit around here, not quite the analyst. We'll save the TA for another day when our analysts return. All right, let's take a quick look here. How are we doing on time? All right, about 6 minutes to go to open up that chest. Do I have any bad actors in the DLive chat? Anybody I have to remove before I can them? Let's find out. Look up Kamaria eggs. They're NFTs on Kusama that give you a drop for MRK tokens. It's an NFT ecosystem, but very gamified. All right, very, very interesting. Bricks, I might very well have to take the opportunity and look into that. Let's see here. Let me just see if there's anybody in the chat that doesn't belong here. I would like to make sure the lemons get to everybody who deserves them. All right, looking good so far. Looking good. Eat Hard Fork on June 24th. Thought it was in July. You're talking about the London fork. We'll get into that in just a moment. So, in fact, let's get right into it now, guys. Let's get into the news. This leading article here from Trust Nodes. Dow, Bitcoin, gold, everything falls. Dow Jones has fallen about 1.4% today in the generally red market across stocks, commodities, and cryptos. Gold has crashed by their standards, down to $1,780 from $1,900, which is falling about 4 days. Yes, we recapped some of the gold droopiness just a minute ago. Gold was having a spring mini bull run, but it's down from its highs of $2,075 in August, with it seeing a fairly strong correction for the ostensibly stable asset. Bitcoin has fallen too, from a very brief 41,000 to below 37,000, with the only thing up seemingly being the dollar. The zoomed out chart above picks off during the yuan devaluation following the Trump tariffs. CNY, unlike the dollar or the euro, is not a free-floating currency, but a soft peg to the dollar and very undervalued rate for the yuan. So blah blah blah. A little bit of history here. Yes, so we have the Fed Chair's Jerome Powell's decision and comments on Thursday, playing into the recent market action. Led to a record, this led to a record $755 billion parked with the central bank in cash, as some expected to hit $1 trillion. That's right, guys, the reverse repos. I'll bring that up in a minute. One of the main things I've noticed trending today is this talk of reverse repos hitting unprecedented levels. We'll get into that in just a second. All right, let's hop into this item here. This comes from Crypto Slate. Michael Saylor says, what are Bitcoin's biggest threats? They're not necessarily energy concerns. Let's see here. There was a very interesting debate. I think MicroStrategy debated some gold guy on YouTube the other day. I didn't tune into the whole thing. I should probably recap some of that today. But one of the things that he described of some of the biggest risks are what he calls, ESG, environmental, social, and governance. ESG refers to set standards that investors use to determine how a particular company stacks up in terms of social responsibility. So environmental.
Hey, is it just you in here, Jack?
Just me.
Okay, well, I can be here for the first part of the show. My asshole tax guy fucking missed the meeting.
Oh, wow. Is that what it's come to?
Guys, I am just so over this. Guys, but let me just say, do not hire Asrin Hawkins Financial out of Los Angeles.
Let's not dox or
Oh, no. I'll be putting up a Google review after
all right,
this.
do that,
too.
do that. But
in terms of the
YouTube broadcast, though, we have to avoid what might be construed as harassment or anything to do with that. So I understand you're very.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know. We just have to play it on the super safe side. If this was DLive, I'd say if this was DLive exclusive, I'd let you have at it. But I'm just saying, let's keep it PG-13. And I'm sure you're very disappointed in your tax guy.
I definitely being PG-13.
All right. How else are you doing today, man? What happened here? Where did my thing go? Here we go.
Packing.
Oh, you're just packing away. All right. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to rejig the stream to accommodate Alex, who's just kind of joining us today. Like I said, he was meeting with his tax guy, who apparently stood him up. Not much of a tax guy, is he?
It's June. My taxes still aren't done.
Brutal. What a drama, guys. A tax, a good count is worth their weight in gold. Well, Alex, I'm sorry to hear that, but welcome to the show. I know you might not be here for the duration of the show. I was just reading up the news and preparing to open the chest a bit early. In fact, the chest is going to open in about 40 seconds, guys. So let me head over there and throw something in the chest for you today. Let's toss 500 big lemons in this old chest. Let's have a look. Lots of comments coming in. Let me just make sure there's nobody in here that doesn't belong in here. Who's this? O-Beam? Who's O-Beam? Identify yourself. Who's O-Beam? O-Beam, you look sus. I have to keep these guys out of here. But today I might give this O-Beam guy a pass. All right. Let's do it. How are we doing on time? All right. Clock has struck 1:30 where I am. I'm gonna deploy the chest. Good luck, everybody. Get your hands on these lemons right now. You should be seeing that prompt. If you don't, sometimes refreshing the DLive window does make it appear. Good luck to everybody in this lemon giveaway. Beautiful. All right.
Why are we doing the lemon so early?
Well, Jason's not here. You weren't here. And my plan was only to do like a 30-minute show, recap the news, and give the lemons away nice and early.
Okay, well, I mean, I can still do the show for like half an hour, 45 minutes more if you're up for it.
Well, at this point, yeah, I guess we will. Let's have a look. Lemons have been given away. Congrats to everybody who got a piece of the action today. Crypto Bull coming in first. Congrats. It's been a while since I've seen Bull in first place. He's here with 128 lemons. Taz Blitz with 74. Franklin MC with 54 lemons. And Cap with 43 lemons. And Paranormal Debunker with 36.2 lemons. All right. Let's get into the next segment here. Let's see here. All right, so apparently, my sailor is saying ESG, part of this, of course, being environmental, social, and governance concerns, are not an issue to Bitcoin. Blah, 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 blah. So what exactly does he think is the threat? Rounded off by saying the biggest risk to Bitcoin is ignorance. Okay, driven by the mainstream media, not directly environmentally sustainable factors themselves. All right, this I can kind of agree with. Indeed, I do think that environmental concerns, environmental sustainability of Bitcoin is dramatically overstated, as we touched on the show so many times before. And in fact, yes, ignorance could very well be the biggest threat to Bitcoin. In the general idiocracy stage that humanity is entering into, yes, the biggest dangers are not so much, technical and environmental, but it could very well be just the ignorance of the common man, of the common policymaker.
This one person's like demanding information about lemons. Okay, buddy. Binance fraud. Stop losing your money. Lemons are a currency that DLive gives out to content creators, and then content creators give out to the audience, and then audience gives to content creators. It's supposed to be like a self-contained ecosystem. They are of questionable use, but people like them, and we like to give them out, and we like to say they're worth a lot of money, even though they're probably not. So feel free to hang over on DLive if you'd like, or you can keep watching us on YouTube as you already are. Or we're also on Twitch, which I'm like literally on right now. I moderate over there, and then obviously anyway. Those are lemons.
Yes, well said. Very interesting user by the name of Binance Fraud. Somebody, I guess, got burned over by Binance by CZ. My condolences to you, my man, Binance Fraud. But yes, these lemons are quite innocuous. They're just Chuck E. Cheese tokens for the DLive users. They're just a fun token, nothing too special. It is indeed the crypto that fuels the DLive ecosystem. Creators can be tipped in lemons. Creators can take those lemons and I guess earn somewhat of a living off of them. Here though at CC, at the Kraken Cryptocurrency DLive channel, guys, we do not hoard, or we don't make our living. We're not the type of content creator that needs the lemons to eat and survive. So therefore, the lemons are purely a fun token that we take great pleasure in giving away in substantial numbers. We don't keep any of it. We return all donated lemons pretty much right back into the chest. So there you have it. Thank you, Mr. Binance Fraud. Thank you for Alex for that explanation. Let's head into this next item. So Alex, I was just recapping this. I don't know if you saw the Michael Saylor debate yesterday on YouTube. He debated some gold guy. I'd have to pull it up. Let's see here. Am I going to be able to pull it up? Yeah, it'll take me a minute though. He debated the guy, a gold bug on there. I think he did a decent job. And of course, one of the things that came out of it is that, what are Bitcoin's biggest threats? They're not necessarily, for instance, this environmental concerns, this ESG concerns that many investors set standards around. As he says here, it's likely the ignorance of the masses, which I somewhat concur with. All right, so that article is out of the way. Let's hear from another billionaire here. Hedge fund billionaire Stephen Cohen says he's fully converted to crypto. Legendary Forex trader Stephen Cohen believes that he's still early. He's the asset management boss over at Point72, and he says he's fully converted to crypto according to a new interview. I'm fully converted to crypto. You have to pay to learn. There's no way around it. You can talk all you want, but you got to get in the game. See, I like that statement.
Yeah.
I like that. You got to pay to learn. Alex, how much paying have you done to learn in this space? Fair amount, I suppose.
A fair amount.
Fair amount.
I definitely. I wish I could permanently learn the lesson about margin trading, but I've learned lessons plenty of times, yeah, and they're all been very costly.
That's right, guys. You gotta have skin in the game. You can't just be a no coiner who merely fuds and revels in every pullback the crypto market has. You can't be a completely ignorant gold bug who relishes the sight of every major rug pull and a bit of trouble that comes to the crypto space. Like Mr. Cohen here says, you can talk all you want, but you got to get in the game. You have to learn, and yeah, just like, in fact, there's a new user here in the chat today, Franklin MC. He was asking us about, like, oh guys, I'm kind of new to this whole crypto thing. What kind of advice do you have? Which is a very general question. I think you're on the right path, Mr. Franklin MC, and in the veins of Cohen here. I guess you got to pay to learn, and you got to get in the game. So part of that's, I guess, buying, storing, and securing your crypto. If you're completely new to this, that's generally what I recommend to people. Learn how to buy, acquire your first bit of Bitcoin. Learn how to store it and put it away. Learn how to transfer it. Learn good basic security practices. Get a feel for how Bitcoin basically works at addressing private and public keys, and from there, I think you have a rich experience, a very rewarding experience in your crypto adventures. But let's continue with this article. Cohen, whose net worth is estimated to be around $14 billion, claims that he doesn't care about the Bitcoin price since no one actually knows when it's going to go up. The legendary hedge fund is mainly focused on disruptive potential of blockchain. Despite the total crypto market cap hitting $2.5 trillion back in May, the New York Mets owner, so he's also the owner of the New York Mets, he believes that he's still early. I'm not going to miss this, he says. I've missed the first part, but I still feel like I'm early. I may look foolish initially, but if accordingly to earn the game. All right, maybe this is a slight misspeak here. And then when you're confident, take it to the next level. All right. Yeah, this is a good attitude to have. I'm sure a lot of people feel like they were late. I'm sure people who felt like they were late to Bitcoin during the last cycle and the last cycle before that. Ostensibly, it's never too late. Of course, the parabolic gains have largely already been made, but still plenty of opportunity in Bitcoin if you're not too greedy. But hey, if you're super greedy, go into DeFi where you're going to take on more risk to get those outsized gains. Speak to Mark Cuban about that. We'll get into that very shortly. Wall Street titans are betting on Bitcoin. Bloomberg reported that many firms, blah, 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 and people like Paul Tudor Jones, Stanley Druckenmiller, blah, blah, blah. Yes, the billionaires seemingly are coming. Let's hope they don't all get wrecked. All right, speaking of billionaires, billionaires calls for stablecoin regulations following the so-called Cuban Missile Crisis. Just over 24 hours ago, Titan collapsed from $65 to almost zero in the span of just a few hours, with many investors taken aback by this unanticipated depreciation on Titan. At the time of the writing, Titan basically dropped to zero. As a matter of fact, not so popular tokens started gathering traction only when billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban endorsed it in his recent blog post. Cuban emphasized that he would keep his money invested in the token as long as it fetched him good returns. Just after it got published, Titan's price began witnessing a deranged upsurge as investors went on a buying spree. It goes without saying, however, that the rule of thumb for investing requires investors to keep their emotions aside and act rationally. As a matter of fact, in this case, people stepped onto Titan's boat solely because of the novel hype created on social media, partly thanks to Cuban himself. He eventually got on to say he got rugged. Mostly a recap to, again, what we covered yesterday. But now, now Cuban is calling for some regulation in DeFi. And lots of comments are flying, including now being officially dubbed the Cuban Missile Crisis. Let's have a look here.
I don't know how I feel about the name, but I do think it's funny that he's calling for regulations on stablecoin providers. Like, what do you expect with something that offers many tens of thousands of percents APR?
Yeah, I mean, there's that link. I think you posted a pretty funny meme to the meme channel. I'm going to check in on that very shortly. That kind of summarizes it nicely. But in this case, David Schwal, CEO of Family Management Corporation, said, "I have a hard time when people admit they were lazy in due diligence, but then blame lack of regulation." Yes, well said. Yep, Titan pumped 100x only to be rugged to 0. Never a dull day in DeFi. Yes, indeed. And here's Cuban's opinion on what went down. If you're looking for a lesson learned, the real question is the regulatory one. There should be regulation to define what a stablecoin is and what collateralization is acceptable. Yeah, we covered this yesterday. Even, I guess, Cuban taking his licks. Nobody wants to have the rug pulled on them, especially in such
a Crypto Bull asks, what kind of stable coin is worth $64? No, Iron was the stable coin. Iron was pegged at $1, and then Titan was backing it. So it was a fractional reserve system where something, I think, like 70% of the peg was backed by USDC and 30% was backed by Titan. So the way it worked is the rewards were minted in Titan, and as long as demand was up, then the price of Titan kept going up. But unfortunately, from my understanding, what happened was that when Iron lost its peg, the amount of God, I just don't understand it well enough. But essentially, because it lost its peg, the protocol started printing more Titan to make up for the peg as backing for it. Unfortunately, that caused a massive deflation in the price of Titan, which caused an arbitrage opportunity because the peg on Iron was still higher because it's partially backed by the collateralization. So that caused more printing of Titan. So now there's like literally trillions of Titans. So it'll never be that price ever again. If it went up to like 1 cent, it would be worth it'd have the market cap of Bitcoin at this point.
Yep, it's like depressurizing the space station. All the liquidity got sucked right out.
It was like a bank run. It was like it was partially an old fast-fashion bank run and partially an arbitrage opportunity where, because of the protocol was had this, I guess you could call it a flaw. I don't want to call it like it wasn't hacked. It wasn't a rug pull. There was a flaw in the logic of this contract where, because Iron lost its peg, there was an arbitrage opportunity, and that caused people to sell more, which caused more printing, which caused more selling, and then the price was just boop, all in one day, just down to 0.
Indeed. Well explained. Thank you, Alex. Let's have a look here at this story from the blog. Galaxy Digital now serving as Goldman Sachs liquidity provider for their Bitcoin futures trades. Galaxy Digital now officially the liquidity provider, tying the knot with Goldman Sachs for their futures block trades. A move that comes as the Wall Street investment giant ramps up its crypto-related services. The crypto company said in a statement Friday that those trades are tied to CME's Bitcoin futures offerings. CNBC first reported this news, quote, "We are proud to be a strategic partner of Goldman and are looking forward to working with Max and his team to meet the increasing demand from institutions and pave the way to broader adoption of crypto as an asset class," said Galaxy Digital's co-president and head of global markets. All right, that was nice and brief and to the point. Galaxy Digital, Goldman Sachs, match made in heaven. All right. Let's have a look here. China rolls out 3,008 digital yuan ATMs. Yes, the digital currencies are coming. And China, I guess, on the forefront of this development. Here's a sneak peek of what to expect.
I love how they show a picture of an ATM printing out cash.
You know why? I believe it's because these ATMs accept cash. You deposit your cash and you get your digital yuan sent to you. China has added support for digital yuan at 3,000 ATMs in Beijing. China has conducted lotteries to boost the popularity of the digital currency. It's distributed more than $40 million worth of digital yuan so far. China, the UAE, and other partners are developing a global payment network based on CBDCs. China hopes to increase adoption of its digital yuan by adding support for the currency at more than 3,000 ATMs. China's digital yuan, available, yes, to so many now, and the first country to implement the CBDC. It's proven reasonably popular. Citizens are able to use the ATMs to convert digital yuans to cash, and vice versa. So it goes in both directions. Prior to this announcement, only 10 ATMs in Beijing supported the digital currency. It's a big next step in the national rollout that's seen the digital yuan launch in several major cities. China has been conducting lotteries, blah, 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 giving away some currencies. That takes a little while to prod the populace and to start adopting it, but hey, sprinkle some around. People eventually pick it up. Yeah, I look forward to get ready, because this will probably be a lot like what we can expect here in the West. I don't know how soon, but let's say by the end of the decade. Let's have a look here. Stocks slump, short-term yields jump on the Fed reset, markets wrap. Yes, this is, of course, just covering some of the latest. Stocks are falling, of course, for the fourth day, extending a bout of volatility ignited by the surprise hawkishness at the Federal Reserve. Commodities such as copper slumped, while the dollar touched a 2-month high. The Dow Jones, so-called value share proxy, was on pace for the worst week since January as investors stepped back from trades tied to expectations for hot economic growth and inflation. Even safe harbor, big cash spewing technology companies such as Apple and Microsoft moved lower, pushing the NASDAQ 100 down from a record high. Yields on shorter maturity treasuries jumped after Fed President James Bullard said on CNBC that the central bank has started discussing scaling back the pace of pandemic bond buying. Quote, "The reverse rotation is continuing," said Giorgio Caputo, senior fund manager over here. "At a certain point, a hawkish Fed isn't good for anyone, even technology shares slump." And that's exactly what we saw. That's right, Alex. Remember yesterday you were just covering tech shares, NASDAQ,
yeah.
And apparently even they've given up the ghost today.
Yeah, I definitely want to look at traditional markets. It was a very rough day, and the dollar is just through the roof.
Indeed it is. All right, guys, there is your quick look at some of the news today. Now with Alex having kind of joined us midstream, change of plans. We're going to get into a bit of TA brought to you by your favorite CC analyst. Let's quickly hop in, see kind of comments we have here. I did kind of keep up with most of the comments. Let me see here. Are we more or less up to date? Yes, someone asked about the lemons. Someone asking about NVDA. I guess I can make a list of requests. It's really sucky for accountants. Lots of rule changes. Yeah, I guess accountants don't have it easy, but that's why they get paid the big bucks.
Get out of here, you accountant apologist.
Would you enter the market at the current levels? I went liquid, and I'm wondering when to re-enter as Nin Soki.
I gotta say, I'm sitting in a decent amount of cash too. I'm still holding on to my long-term EOS long, and I'm still stuck in a Litecoin long that I'm in profit on, but I'm kind of hoping that we get a better exit point than here. But other than that, I'm sitting very heavily in cash, and I do hope that we bounce from these levels. I want a little bit of confirmation from something.
Word. Cryptobull says he's really regretting not getting into the gold short a few days ago when you first mentioned it. All right, live and learn. All right. Let's do it. Let's hop into the other scene where we'll take a look at Alex's chart. We'll have Alex take over for a few minutes and walk you through some of his TA. All right. Alex, having gone live, gives me the opportunity to connect to his stream and make a few adjustments as well. Let's let's make it Jason offline, and This is me. Perfect. This looks good. All right. Alex currently looking at the BTC USD chart. Everything looks well synced up. Take it away. And I guess I'm gonna log. Well, do we have time to do requests, or do you want to just kind of do your own personal TA?
Let's just do our own thing, and then yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think we've got time today.
Yeah. You might have to run. That's fine, guys. I do appreciate what little time Alex does have to spare with us today. With that said, take it away. Let's get your thoughts.
Okay. So here we see yesterday's break of the uptrend, starting to get some follow through to the downside. I'm seeing a clearly established downtrend here that we can keep our eyes on. For right now, I'm not getting a sense that we're gonna fall through the floor here on Bitcoin. I do see some volume at 33,000. That would be interesting to see us tap again. You can see it right here. This is also where we've got a little bit of support. I would still like to see us swing up into this area before we get any kind of leg down part 2. That's right. So CME ends later today. It'll be kind of an ugly weekly candle if we get it. Yeah, for right now, what we need is some kind of continuation signal, anything, before we do anything with Bitcoin. And I think that's true for most of the alts too. Ethereum is firmly in short territory for us as of today, and on Jason's system we have been for a couple of days. As our members know, Jason put up an Ethereum short. I think over here. Yeah, so a couple days ago. So that's nicely in profit. I think we're looking at least 1950 area. Bitcoin dominance, I would classify this as holding steady. We've got an update today, but kind of cancels out yesterday's down day. If we just look at this on a higher time frame, then we do see that there's a clear break of our most recent downtrend, but we could still see more sideways here. I'm not sold yet that we're just gonna immediately bounce hard here, but I do see Bitcoin doing better than alts in the near to midterm. We've got you can see this just long-term downtrend in Bitcoin versus the alts. And I think we'll see some alleviation of that just over the next few months, either as the market declines or perhaps Bitcoin will diverge from the alts and kind of do its own thing. There's not much that we can do with a lot of the alts. If you look at them, they're mostly above their daily baselines. We'll look at some alt baskets here. Uniswap perp above the daily baseline, not much we can do, but sit on our hands and hope there's some sort of continuation signal. Same here with Dragon perp. Right now, this kind of looks rough as we seem to have turned support into resistance here. So we've got a support level here, acting as support here, resistance here. Kind of crawl our way underneath this support level, turn it into resistance and reject. Not a great sign. DeFi perp starting to cross back below the daily baseline. Privacy perp just kind of finding resistance at a long-term resistance level right here. Boom. Resistance, resistance. A little bit of resistance, fake out. Resistance, resistance, breakdown. This is, unfortunately, we're still above the daily baseline because it almost looks like a great short to, take this back into the area of this wick. Exchange perp, ship perp, mid-cap perp, all perp. None of these quite ready for short part 2, but we're looking really rough here, especially with this lower high that we've made on all the alt pairs. Not what we really wanted from this spot. And on a lot of these, we were never able to reach these upper resistance levels that we've been eyeing. The dollar. Man. So this is the Dixie representative US dollar. And as you can see, we had another really big day today after big days yesterday and the day before. We just rocketed off of support. There's just no other way to call it. You don't see moves like this much in the US dollar. We've moved almost 2% this week, which is kind of incredible if you think about how big of a market the US dollar is. Let's measure this. How much of a move was this week? A little bit more than 2%. Wow. Just wow. And so the dollar moving 2% gives the entire market a 2% haircut, because everything, if the dollar goes up in value, then everything is worth 2%. If the dollar goes up 2% in value, everything is worth 2% less dollars in a sense, because the amount of wealth in the world hasn't changed, just demand and supply. So what does that look like? Well, I don't think we have to guess hard that today was a bad day on traditional markets. The Dow Jones, oof. So we have continued following this, I guess you would call this just an arc downwards. We try to get some upwards momentum, hit resistance, we fail, and collapse. Big gap down today. Kind of trade sideways here at the support. I guess you'd call this. You can see we've got a big gap here that really will need to be filled. In the near term, I'm kind of eyeing 320. See here on the monthly, we're getting a monthly exit signal from time transformation. I imagine we'll probably finish out the month down, right? Here's the Dow Jones on the 3-day. Very strong continuation signal right here. This is a 3 black crows right here for those of you who do candlestick charting. I think we'll see maybe a little bit of alleviation on Monday as people kind of regain their hope, like, oh, it was a bad week, but I'm sure we'll recover. And then I think things could get pretty rough towards the end of the summer. Long term, I think we could end up down here, retest the previous all-time high from last year of in February. It's a long way down, I know, but it also makes sense too as an area to retest. Rough day today on the NASDAQ. As a matter of fact, we ended up, it appears, breaking below our uptrend. Does this look like on lower time frames? Yeah, just starting to break below our downtrend. We were really hoping for more bullishness out of the NASDAQ here. Well, it's not bearish yet. We're still above these resistance levels that we had marked out. This could be a fake out, but I wouldn't bet on it yet. I really want to see a strong breakdown below this trend line. Not, kind of pussyfooting it right now. But I want to see a firm rejection from this area to really know for sure that the NASDAQ is going down in the same way that we were sure about the Dow Jones. And I imagine the S&P is also going to be very rough looking here. Ouch. So this is something we've been expecting ever since we broke out of the uptrend back in May and kind of traded up against it here for about a month and a half before finally firmly rejecting, I guess, this week. This week is when we finally rejected here. See, we break down, kind of stuck below it right here. Break down in this week. Gap down today. I imagine that we could refill this gap come next week. But this entire area is very strong resistance, and it's going to be a strong headwind. Very it's very bad for crypto. Crypto can have a bad time, and then if traditional markets are still chugging along, it gives crypto a chance to recover. But if traditional markets go down, then crypto markets are going to go down with it. There's just no question. Maybe it will cover sooner, or I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to react exactly the same, but if traditionals go down, crypto will go down. And it certainly looks like traditionals are on their way down here. Look at this. Look at this weekly rejection from resistance right here. This week we crossed below the weekly moving average, our baseline here that we've been holding above since May of last year. Rough time. Let's see what's recovering today. I see some commodities are having a decent day. Oil potentially recovering from oil potentially recovering from a retest of support. We'll see. Corn was a little oversold. Today it's getting bought back up, but I would be incredibly cautious here. It really does feel like we've crossed below the uptrend. Same with soybeans. Soybeans had a really hard week. Now we're bouncing back from being oversold. I would still want to take this down towards the $10 range over the long term. $30-year bonds. Well, guys, remember, bonds and stocks are inversely correlated. So this is something that we could sort of expect to see. We saw that the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and the S&P were all down today. We look over at U.S. Treasury bonds, 30 years. What do we see? Big update today. Big update yesterday. 10-year bonds, update. 2-year bonds are through the floor because this is much more connected to Fed activity. So 2-year bonds are going way down in value. $10-year up today. I did see a request for the USD CAD.
That's correct, along with natural gas.
All right. Big week for the USD CAD. It's been a big week for the Dixie, so this is something that we could really expect to see. beautiful break of the downtrend. I imagine that we will probably reject from this area right here. So support here, resistance right here. I think the dollar will probably pull back. I'm not sure to where, but this feels like a good change in the long-term trend. What's happening here on the monthly, for instance? And boom. So I think we can easily maybe take this at least back towards the point of control up here. All right, let's look at like 10, 15 minutes of chart requests.
Yep, certainly could do that. Give me just a minute.
Here.
I have a very brief selection of requests here, so let's do it. Let's pull some of these up. Let me hide these two graphics and reveal today's request. All right, here we go. Let's do some adjustments here. All right, user by the name of Ali Samay. Mr. Ali wants to look at TOMO, DODO, THETA, BNB. 4 requests. Tell me which one you'd like to look at. TOMO, DODO, THETA, BNB.
I'll look at TOMO and DODO.
Let's do it.
I mean, I think you can see on the monthly here that we're already retesting resistance here. Just looking at the monthly, I think I want to take it back down into this range. Should be getting an exit signal probably tomorrow. I would be looking to get out relatively soon. As you can see, this looks more like a retest of the point of control here. You'll want to wait for confirmation right here, but most likely you're going to be getting out of this. Okay. Well, I like that we've broken out of the linear downtrend here. But I would wait for some kind of continuation signal here before taking this. We could easily retest the low one more time, which would be like a 25% drop. Be pretty painful if we just popped on down here real quick and then pop back up. You'd probably puke your position, and that would really suck. So I'd approach it cautiously, but I do like that we broke the downtrend here. Who's next?
All right. Let's take a look at the next request. Before I do, I'm going to read the following comment from Tricon32. I'm not sure which chart he was referring to, but he writes, "It's amazing that it's following your drawings. I would suggest next time that you draw in the other direction, Alex."
Yeah. He's talking about the Dow Jones.
Probably the Dow, yeah. Alex is, was it the Dow? I think it's probably the Dow. I saw it yesterday. Yes, the drawing was so apt. Alex looks like a clairvoyant or something, but
you know, it's just such a common price thing. It made an all-time high. It came up, it retested resistance, and then it broke down. That's
word.
It.
That's all there is to it, guys. All right. Well, while we still have the very generous Alex and his time with us on the show today, let's dive into the next request. Zombieologist wants to look at NVDA. Can we look at the NVDA token, or sorry, token, the stock, sure, please? Oh yeah.
It's doing pretty great. I just don't see any signs of it stopping right now. I want to give you resistance levels, but I'm not quite sure the best way to use our trend-based fib on such a long-term trend. Let's do it from 2008. No, let's do it from 2020. Top here. Bottom here. Okay, so I'll assume that you're in this right now. 775 right here is one of our resistance levels. We don't necessarily need to reject from this level. As you can see, our 50% level, the 660 here. This one is just bounced right through it. Here we found resistance, broke through, use this one as support. So 775 and 865 are really the next resistance levels that you might want to consider taking profits at. We got a couple different uptrends here to keep our eyes on, obviously. This one, and then our more parabolic uptrend. Here, I say, as long as we hold this uptrend, I'd be looking to try and stay in. And then if we broke down, we would most likely come down to retest this trend. Okay, what's next?
All right, shout outs to Zombie for the NVDA request. All right, new user who came through our channel today, Franklin MC on DLive, asked, how do I explain crypto to my wife? Yes, so he's new to crypto in general. He probably has barely a grasp on blockchain and some of the cryptology behind cryptography, I should say, behind Bitcoin and crypto. Alex, very briefly, how would you explain crypto to the wife?
I mean, it really depends on what matters to your wife. Because if you told her, you're your own bank, no one holds your money. Right now, the money that I have at the bank is my money, and I'm using air quotes, you can't see it, but it's my money. But at any time, it could be frozen by the bank, or, oh, sorry, we accidentally put it in someone else's account. That happens. The government froze your funds. That can't happen with Bitcoin. So having sovereign money that's not controlled by someone else, that's a really cool thing about Bitcoin and about many of the cryptos. But your wife may not give a shit about that. I could talk about how it's uncounterfeitable, but your wife may not give a shit about that. It may be that you just can't explain it to her because she doesn't care about economics or money about anything like that. But I gotta tell you, there are plenty of books on the subject that attempt to explain Bitcoin and crypto that do a much better job, although probably more exhaustively than I could do. I'm really more of a trading expert. If you want me to tell you how to explain to your wife what trading is, I can tell you that.
Well said. Well said. Yeah. I don't think much more needs to be added to that. Indeed, generally just Googling or YouTubing what is Bitcoin topics will round out this answer for you. But yeah, generally, and Alex can reference this it's the opposite of central banking. It's the idea, though you do have to probably explore it. It's decentralized. It's of course the permissionlessness. It's the censorship resistance that it offers that few other things can. It's a lot like gold, but you can transmit it over telephone lines. That's roughly the idea behind Bitcoin. Crypto at large, blockchain at large. Huge other implications and more. You could expand this answer a lot more if you're talking crypto in general. But Frank Lemsey, thank you for being here. Indeed, as Alex pointed out, we're kind of trading and markets centric here, but it does help to have at least a basic grasp of how the decentralized blockchain works, how public-private key cryptography, again, I should say, works, and it does kind of round out even the basic trader's understanding. It's very important, I think, because it also gives you the ability to maybe discern other bullshit in the space, as well as It makes you more of a power user, less susceptible to security and other risks. But then, hey, if you're a noob, just log on to Robinhood or Coinbase and buy and hold it there. In the meantime, we've looked at the USD CAD for Soki, so thank you for that one. Here's natural gas. We've looked at NatGas, I suppose.
I didn't.
Okay, I mentioned it earlier. Let's, since it is one of the few requests still on the board, let's take a look at it.
It's a little hard to tell what to do with it. I am slightly biased to the upside. At this time, I sort of see us as above resistance. Like this area is our resistance level. So resistance, kind of a fake out, but then we find resistance again. Boom, we go to hell real quick. Resistance again, and then we break here. And we've been holding above this level for several days, and that's kind of giving our oscillator time to reset. If price is consolidating above this resistance level, we're still holding the uptrend. I think we could keep moving up here. We do have a weekly exit signal, and that is something to be a little concerned about. But yeah, right now I'm biased a little bit to the upside, but when you look at the long term, natural gas loves to trade at like right around $2.90, $3 per whatever unit. This barrel of natural gas, or however many BTUs, who the fuck knows? But this $3 for these contracts, like natural gas kind of loves that price. I wouldn't be surprised to see us come back down and just spend more time trading sideways in the area, like we already have done, right? Traded sideways at around $2.50 for a while. We come up around $3.30. We pull back towards $3. Trade sideways a little bit more. I could see that. That makes sense. For whatever reason, people are very comfortable with this price, right? That's why it trades there. Buyers and sellers. They've got kind of an agreement. Like, yeah, I guess natural gas kind of is worth about $2.50, $3, right? It gets below it, we want to buy it. It gets above it, we want to sell it. Yeah, it's a nice supply and demand agreement. So, yeah. I think that's really all I have to say on natural gas here.
All right. Well, there was your look at NatGas. Thank you for that one. Gonna read a couple comments here from the live chat. All right. Several people kind of joking around the topic of your wife and crypto. Alex81SG says, you never tell your wife you own crypto. Dave Rice says, wife might find out in case of a divorce and bank transaction. All right. Yes. Not sure exactly. I think I get roughly what you mean, yeah. Dave. Indeed. Divorce.
Tell your wife you've been blowing your money on strippers. It'll be less suspicious, and she never has to know, man.
Yes, and honestly, this is a good general OPSEC principle, guys, in this phase. I know when you get into crypto for the first time, you get pretty hyped. You're fun. You want to become maybe an acolyte of the crypto gang. That's not necessarily a good thing. Honestly, this is a good thing to keep under wraps. Imagine, getting into gold, stacking a few bricks in the house, and then gold pops off, and then all your friends know that you're the guy with the gold at his crib while gold is going skyrocketing, right? Imagine that with crypto. It's best to keep this as private as possible. Do not make yourself a target in any way, because believe me, between the online world and the offline world, bad actors will attempt to get their hands on your Bitcoin at all costs. So just a very, very early reminder. Keep all of this under wraps. Do not tell your family. Do not tell your friends. Keep everything at a minimum. All right. Hopefully that should all be pretty obvious why. Let's head into the next request. New user here on YouTube writes, this S name is Shtip 8-bit. New to the channel, but so far enjoying it. What are your thoughts on BAT or Mana? Thank you.
Okay.
I think both neat projects. I mean, he might be asking, again, this is a new user, might be more of a fundamental question. We, of course, do TA here. So we will certainly look at the chart real quick just to humor everyone. But in terms of these two projects, I'm not particularly invested in either one of these. I do think they have, there's some good use cases. They have some good utilities gamed out. So I think they've carved out their niche. I just don't know if, if this will be a long-term in-demand thing, but I do think both projects handsomely cut out their utility.
I would have to disagree for BAT, at least. I think BAT is pretty useless. So there is no reason that someone could not fork the Brave browser and just replace BAT with some other token to be given to content creators or something, like maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum. Any token could do that job. It's just that Brave only lets BAT be distributed and stuff like that, right? That's a totally artificial barrier. There's no reason for people to use BAT to tip content creators or to be received, except that the Brave browser kind of makes you use that right now. Opera has added cryptocurrency tipping, and I'm sure someone will fork Brave or otherwise other people will allow you to tip in other currencies, such that it just won't make sense. It just does not make sense to think that BAT has a future. Anything could do that thing.
I mean, the argument is that it's established, right, and it's riding on the back of Brave, right? Now,
yeah, whatever. There's over 3,000 cryptos out there that I can give you like 30 to 50 well-established cryptos with like probably a bright future that aren't something that's like, oh, this thing does nothing except it's an artificial gate. It's like barely a utility token. Because what Brave is doing is not special, okay? So anyway, I think I've made my point. It doesn't make sense. And the chart looks crappy right now.
And the chart looks crappy.
Indeed, another low exit signal here on time transformation. Maybe we'll get a bounce off of our moving average. We didn't on several of the other markets where we're crossing back below the moving average. So I wouldn't be taking a baseline bounce long here. I think it's just best to wait for an actual bounce from the alt market. We may not catch the exact bottom, but man, I would not relish having to, like, we bought here. Like, oh, we got to sell, we sold out here, and then we bought here, and then we had to sell again, and we bought here, and then we had to sell again. Kind of want to avoid that if we can.
Yeah, I will add that Brave, indeed, it does attempt to kind of tokenize some of the social media and advertising mechanics, right? So it's at the very least, one of the... again, I'm not in BAT necessarily. I'm not, I agree with Alex to a degree, but I still think it's at least a very good working example of how crypto can be used, and for, again, this tokenizing of advertising money and social media engagement. We see other projects doing
that. Any currency,
right.
any digital currency could perform that role. There's just BAT does nothing special.
Indeed. Well, in the sense that there's plenty of other projects attempting to do something similar. You have the likes of Steemit, probably the originator.
And Steemit stuff.
Yeah, and Steemit, exactly. We've seen how it's gone. You have the new the LBRY credits and Odyssey. The Odyssey platform now is.
I don't think so, because those are. It's not a browser. Those are like actual content library stuff where content creators are being rewarded. A browser is different. It's literally, it's just like a window. And actually, a better example would be like those old bathrooms where you had to put in a quarter to open the bathroom door and use the bathroom. And there's definitely places in Europe that are still like this. In places in Europe, you better have money on you to pay for the bathroom. But my point is, there's nothing special about a euro or like a quarter. Any coin could work as long as the coin machine accepted that coin, right? The point is that it's just a gating mechanism and you put money into it. And what BAT does is not special whatsoever. Anybody could just fork Brave and be like, okay, actually this browser uses Ethereum instead of BAT. Boom, done. And then everybody's like, oh, this is so much easier than using this other thing that's super volatile and basically worthless. So BAT, big thumbs up. You can't see me, but my thumb is pointing downwards right now.
All right. I like it. Good take on BAT. Of course, I mean, I still like the browser, so let's actually head over to the Brave browser and get into the next request. Okay, he also asked the same thing about Mana Decentraland.
It's the exact same chart, buddy. I mean, look at it. It's the same chart. If you guys didn't notice that I had changed charts because you look down and look back up, guess what I did? This is Mana, and it's the same chart. I don't have anything really new to say. Stay out for right now.
All right, let's read a comment or two. I'm certain that the BAT has raised a few eyebrows. Crypto Bull says BAT is just good for tipping. Yeah, more or less just tipping and maybe making some very small passive income from ads. Again, I don't really claim any of these things. I don't really run.
It's not good for tipping. It's perfectly adequate for tipping. But anything could perform that role. There's nothing that makes it especially good for the tipping role.
Yeah, I feel you there. But again, it is kind of established that it is kind of the go-to. So ostensibly, you know, this will be the popular plugin for such a thing. But let's read this comment here from Crazy Chicken Boy. Alex, but there is nothing else doing it. So yeah, BAT has utility and it's actually doing something. So I'm sorry, I must disagree.
Well, I mean, I would say that nothing else is doing it because it's too small of a niche right now. And then once it gets there, all they have to do is fork BAT or fork Brave, boom, and then they can just easily replace it.
True, but then you have to, like, you know,
advantage is a mirage here.
Right, but then you have to kind of you know, adapt. You have to migrate all these users from Brave onto your competing one. Now, that's entirely possible. Maybe in the future we will see indeed. You know, at the very least, it does kind of pre-tell a change in how maybe advertising will be kind of doled out in the future. Maybe we will move to a decentralized model in terms of, let's say, even something like Google AdSense, right? Moving into a model where they release some kind of cryptocurrency akin to BAT, and Google AdSense now pays users some individual gratuity for viewing all these ads. Again, the BAT model, say, applied to Google AdSense. You're right. They can fork BAT. They can build their own. But at the moment, you know, Brave is, I guess, a kind of a competing, or one of the top 3 or 5 browsers. Entirely possible that you know, they have an existing market share, existing network effect to tap. And that's kind of what Brave builds its success over. I feel you. Here's something I discovered through Steemit and other crypto-based social media platforms. People blog for free. People post and create content largely for free. And so any of these social media mechanisms that try to tokenize things too much, they don't really work very well in terms of the proper incentives and I don't know, just actual actual creation and actual utilization on the ground. So you'd think they would, but I guess they don't, and therefore there's a reason BAT doesn't have the popularity it does. What's the portion of Brave users that even claim or collect or tip in BAT, right? I think that'll be probably one of the strongest metrics. My guess is a very, very small number of them. All right. Let's get into one of the final requests, and
yeah, I want to wrap up in a minute.
Yes, absolutely. ETH Bitcoin, please. Can ETH be stronger in the near future? Something tells me no.
In the near future, no. In the long term, yes. I think Ethereum will continue to do better than Bitcoin in the long term. It's a good monthly chart that shows us. I see some. I think I'd like to see us come down to maybe around 550,000 sats, 5.5 million sats. I can't really tell quite easily, but basically, I want to see us at least come this line right here. But really, this entire area around 5 million, yes, 5 million sats. We could land into. So these are really the two areas. Maybe we could just come down and retest here and continue onwards. That would be great. But I think it's more likely that we're gonna end up in this area.
All right, short term ETH Bitcoin indeed looks like that's going to continue to give up ground. Then Soki asks, if oil recovers, won't the dollar dip? Not necessarily, but Alex.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah. All right.
The dollar. It's more like oil is inversely related to the dollar, and not the dollar is inversely related to the oil. Oil could do what it wanted, and the dollar would be like whatever. But if the dollar, if the dollar moves, then it's one of those fuck around and find out situations. What's next?
All right, coming up next, let's have a look here. We have Crypto Bull with the following. He wants to look at GRT, please.
I'm pretty sure this looks like everything else. I don't have anything special to add here. At this point, it certainly looks like we're going to be retesting the 30 cent range, somewhere in there. What's next?
All right, there is your look at GRT. What remains is DOT. DOT on the 4 hour asks Alex81SG.
It's a short like pretty much everything else. And this chart looks slightly better than most other things, but basically it's the same chart as everything else we've been looking at.
All right, that DOT looks a lot like everything else. Kind of like Bitcoin currently tanking 35.7 on Bitcoin.
I mean, the support around $15-16 is really strong on DOT. But if we fell through it, then I expect we'd fall all the way to like $10.
Brutal. All right, here we go. Yes, CryptoBull21 points out in the live chat. He says, Jack, there's that 1.5 hours I was talking about. Yep, you called it. You were absolutely right. I opened the show saying that we're only going to go like 30 minutes. I'm going to do a solo news session and wrap it up. And CryptoBull's like, dude, you're going to go an hour and a half. I'm calling it now. Who could have predicted Alex shows up and we do an hour and a half? CryptoBull apparently. All right. Let's look at this final request I have logged here. It's from Tricon32. Strange request. But can you take a look at the 5-year Greece bonds? All right.
I need a ticker.
Search keyword Greece. Let me see here. I'm gonna find out right now.
Well,
Greece.
I mean, hey, guy, give us the ticker.
It's called GRO5.
Okay. I don't really see anything special about this. We do appear to be below resistance. So this level is this area really. Resistance, support, resistance, breakdown, resistance, breakdown, resistance. probably break down, and we've got a bearish divergence right here on our daily. I just don't see anything especially interesting about this. I don't know. I don't know why you'd have us look at this, but yeah, I just don't see anything here, man. What's next?
That was his request. He did add on what's a good pickup point for Theta, so I don't know if you want to throw in that for Tricon.
$3. Yeah, so here you see us rejecting from resistance. Exit signal at the end of today. I think are we in a theta long? I know we're in a T fuel long I put on yesterday. Are we still in yeah, we're still in theta too. So we'll probably exit at the end of today. It looks like we're gonna take a small L on it. We entered right here. 10:03. Oh, we missed our take profit one by 0.2 of a cent. Oh well. That's poker. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't be looking for an entry on Theta here until like maybe around $3 or so. If we break down here, we'll probably end up at least near retesting lows around $5. And then if that doesn't hold, it's the $3 range. Our weekly trend line is pretty far below us. So we've got a long way we could fall, and then we could just wick into the $3 area. We don't necessarily have to trade there long. Maybe we wick into $3 and then we trade around $5 for a while. Like boom, we trade sideways, slowly move up over June, July, August. Maybe take off again in September. So yeah, that's the best I can do for you. Yeah, I can't see the future, but some good entry points. And definitely, this is a place to be exiting right here. Very bad looking. All right.
All right. Yes, very bad looking across the markets. Things are... well, it is a weekend, so maybe perfectly on par for a weekend bloodbath to lead into a sharp Monday recovery. Bad news doesn't seem to linger too long in markets. I know the Fed announcement this week with the rate hike certainly spooked markets, but Alex, I think you said earlier, by the time we get to Monday or next week, a lot of market participants might have digested the news, and things might very well recover sharply. Because right now, maybe we're hitting peak panic. Maybe it's the first week where this news lands the hardest. Beeflo says, I moved my TP1 up to snag it and it moved stop loss, so be careful of how Bitcoin looked. Yippee. Okay, Beeflo, thank you. Tricon32, thanks, Alex. And Crazy Chicken Boy, shoutouts to you too. Alright, guys, I've got a treat in store for you guys. Let's quickly rejig the screen. We're gonna head over to DLive since today's show ran a little longer. We're gonna give away some lemons, I think, for a second time, assuming I can do that. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I gotta go.
You gotta dip.
So that's all on you.
All right. That's totally on me. I'm gonna wrap the show solo. Alex has got a dip. No problem. I'm gonna open the chest, and we're gonna wind the show down here, guys. Much thanks to Alex. Thanks for stopping in this week.
All right. Thank you all, guys.
All right, good luck with the accountant, and
no, the accountant got this till 6 p.m.
Oh dear.
I'm going to the doctor's appointment. So
do your thing. All right, peace out, guys. Let Alex do his thing. We will wrap here. Thanks again to Alex. Yes, another week under our belts, guys. Big thanks to Alex and Jason for holding it down this week, along with all our analysts, all our moderators, all our staff members. You know who you all are. In the meantime, let's open this chest. Let's just quickly hop over here in the server. And, all right. Little view of the meme channel while I go stock up the chest with some fresh lemons. Here, let's fix this. All right, back in business. All right, I guess we can call it another round. 500. Get your lemons in, guys, because I'm gonna deploy the chest with some fresh citrus fruit for you boys. Here we go. 500 lemons deposited. You better get ready and claim, guys, because I'm going to hit the distribute in about 20 seconds. So by the time you hear this message, it's probably already going to be appearing in front of your screen. Good luck, guys. Get your lemons in 7 seconds. Here we go. Alright. Distributing in progress. And let's head over here. Let's put this up on screen. Here's a little look at the distribution window over on DLive in my admin panel. Good luck, guys. What's that? 503 lemons given away. 2 lemon giveaways in one day. Pretty generous this Friday afternoon. Alright, I think that's about it. Anything else I gotta wrap up here? Alright. Lemons distributed. Congrats, guys. Glad people got a second chance at a lemon draw. What do we have here? Tricon 32 with 128 lemons. Big shout outs and congrats to Tricon. Crazy Chicken Boy 74 lemons. Taz Blitz with 54. Paranormal Debunker with 43. And Alex 81 with 36 lemons. I like that. The lemon leaderboard's got a bit of a shake-up this time around. Some different winners for a change. It looks like giving away lemons twice is real recipe for success. All right, enough of that. Let's move to wrap. Let's read a couple comments, and we're gonna take off from here. Crazy Chicken Boy, I don't know if you can do it twice in the stream. Yes, we certainly can. Just proved it. Ron Legato, thanks Alex, and you as well, Jack. Thank you so much, Ron. Rob and Paul Donahue, Sadu, all right. Yes, you can. It didn't appear, says David Rice. That explains why David Rice didn't make the top again. Trekon 32, congrats. And awesome, thanks, Jack, says Crazy Chicken Boy. I wasn't expecting that. Well, I'm glad you guys got a shot. And I bought the cheat codes from Rhino TD, says Tricon 32. Yes, Rhino TD missing today, giving a shot to some other winners for a change. Congrats, guys. Glad you could get it. But this is where we move to wrap. Yes, sage advice, as always. Yeah, another great week. Can't thank you, gentlemen, enough. Ladies as well. It's been a great, well, another week under belts. And wow, what a way to close out the week. Pretty ugly, in fact. Just out of curiosity, let me just take a look at the Bitcoin weekly chart. Yep, weekly red candle. Likely going to close like this. Will we get a pump to 39 or higher by late Sunday, early Monday? That remains to be seen. In the meantime, it's time to peace out from here. Thank you again to everyone, Mr. Ether, Crypto Bull, Dark Rico, all our mods, all our team, all our community. All right, catch you in the Discord. Oh yeah, finally. Let me just quickly check here. It is UFC Fight Night. Let's have a look. UFC Fight Night tomorrow, 7 p.m. for the main card. Alright, guys, you know how we do in the Premium Lounge on a Saturday. Going to be streaming UFC or a movie, sometimes both. This weekend it's UFC Fight Night. Alright, see you guys in the Members Lounge on the Saturday. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekends, guys. See you on Monday. Thanks again.